to Why They Play the Game, a show created to discuss the NBA on and off the court. I am Michael Eric Owens,
And I am Ken Hayes.
the one and only Ken Hayes in the studio. All
What's
right,
going
man.
on, man?
Man, I'm here to tell you, man, we are in the heat of things, triple digits.
Oh, it's 90 here, man, and humid.
Oh
So
man, hey, I'm trying to represent, so I got the hat on representing the Milwaukee, man. But
Milltown.
hey, I love the hat you got on. Prince all
Appreciate it,
day,
man. Right.
every
The
day.
GOAT, like
A-
MJ.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like we say, always, we want you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and get that notification, folks, because we
Right.
want you to get all of our comment, all of our
Right.
content.
And make your
Absolutely.
comments. Be nice.
Hey, Ken, we can handle some tough criticism.
Oh, yeah.
That's all right, man. Hey, listen, man. I don't know if I want to talk a little bit about, Tracy McGrady has been in the news, and he's had a couple of things to say about Victor Wembanyama, and I have to say, Ken, I agree with him. Really, I do. I agree with his assessment. He First of all, he said the hype is overblown, and he said he compared his game to Bobo's. What are
Mm.
your thoughts on that?
I mean, Victor hasn't even played, let's just say, one regular season game, so we really don't know how he's going to look or how he's going to perform. I think, yeah, the hype, it's a little bit too much for me. I know what they call him, the unicorn.
Yeah,
So, 7'5", decent handle, can, shoot it. It's just that, some players come in, they need to get adjusted to the speed of the game or let's just say the physicality of the game. So we really don't know, what's going to be his, let's just say, weakness. But I think, he comes in with a lot of hype. It's a matter of, how they're going to, I'll say, protect him. And with the Spurs, you've already seen already, he only played 2 exhibition games, and
exactly.
then they shut him down. So I mean, I agree with Tracy. They compare him to Magic, and I don't see that. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just don't see it. I mean, I hope he is a great player, but I just don't see it right now. Without having a chance to even look at him in a regular season game, let alone an exhibition game.
Yeah, and I had the opportunity this past year because of Blanchero, really loving his game, man. Rookie of the year, just I think is going to be a tremendous player in the NBA. And so I watched a lot of Orlando Magic games,
Okay.
and Bo Bowles, man, I like his game. I'll be honest with you. He's 7'1". I mean, he's thin like Victor, but he's got a great outside game. He's got great handles. At this stage, in my opinion, he's better than Victor. I
You
just
think
think,
so?
oh yeah, 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 no doubt. I just think he is one of those guys in the league that doesn't get the opportunity, and he was doing well for Orlando, man, and he lost. His playing time got cut down, and of course they got rid of him. He's going to L.A. now, and man, if L.A. can use him right, Ken, listen, uh, he a baller, man. I mean, he can play defense, he can pass, he is can have a very, I think, good career in the NBA. But it's all about opportunity, right? If you
Right,
don't get the
exactly.
opportunity,
But I think they're going to use him just for defensive purposes and rebounds. I don't think in LA he's going to get that many shots or even probably look to score. It's going to be that role player mentality, and maybe that's the downfall of his game. You know, um, I just I just don't see him. Let's just say being in double figures as far on average wise as far as points scored.
in LA.
Right. I,
Oh yeah.
I, I don't see that at all.
No, nah, man. Not with well, You get what you gonna put 2-3 more balls on the court? Because
Right.
LeBron is gonna do his thing, man. AD, and now they done hyped up Austin Reeves, and so he's gonna be taking more shots. They still got D'Angelo Russell. I think they probably will end up, moving him on probably before the season starts. But no,
Gabe
he's not gonna have
Vincent.
opportunity, huh?
Gabe Vincent.
Exactly, and
So,
and he's coming for offensive purposes.
oh,
So,
right. That
um,
outside shot.
I just I agree with Tracy, man. I think we do these guys a disservice when we compare them to someone that has had an accomplished career. He the next LeBron. He the next Mike. And you just think, well, first of all, you ain't even played the game yet. Like we haven't
Right.
seen how you grow. The potential is there with Victor. I just think a lot of people are gonna be disappointed, man, because I don't see San Antonio winning a lot of games.
I don't either, but I just think the hype about him, guy that's 7 foot that is, I mean, he can got a nice handle, can do well as far as individually, but with Pop, I don't know how that's going. Let's just say the chemistry there, how they see as far as eye to eye on things and how much time he's going to get, and is it going to be, I'm gonna say it, low management with him also. So just going by what I see in the exhibition games that they played, and then they shut him down. As I said before, I think they're gonna protect him. I mean, really be have kid gloves on him. So
And I agree. I think they gonna load manage the heck out of him. This dude needs to play at least 65, 70 games. If they want him to grow into this player that, I mean, you think about it. When Duncan came out, wasn't no load management.
no,
When the Admiral came out, wasn't no load management. Those guys got in there, and that's how they got that growth. I think this guy needs as much time on the NBA floor as possible. And I just don't think he's gonna get it.
I tell you what, they gonna make sure that he plays enough games to get the Rookie of the Year.
He ain't getting it.
Yeah. Okay.
See, my pick is Scoot Henderson. I know you're going with Victor, but I'm going
Mike.
with folks. Listen. No, our audience, listen. The Ken is going for Victor. I'm going for Scoot.
Mike, I'm going with the NBA politics. There's too much hype around this young man for him not to get the Rookie of the Year. That's
I do, yeah. Well, he's gonna have every opportunity.
Oh,
I mean, the thing about
definitely.
it is he is not going to get the full blunt of criticism that I think other athletes will get because everyone. I mean, he's like the new hope, right? Everyone wants that. They talking about he the face of, the face of the league in the next 2-3 years. And hey, that might be possible. However, man, you got to earn that. Okay.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that he's another international player that the NBA wants to promote, not just in the United States, but everywhere. So, I'm gonna say that politics is gonna come into fruition because, I mean, I'm not a betting man, but I have to. If somebody put a gun to my head, he gonna be Rookie of the Year.
Well, we gonna see. So we gonna see what they do this past year, and a lot has to do if Dame does go back to Portland, then Scoot I think is definitely gonna be more of a facilitator.
Mm-hmm.
But if Dame leaves, he gonna lead the team in scoring, I believe, in Portland.
I would agree with that, but I think that he's going to need Dame to, let's just say, help him out to the adjustment coming into the NBA. That would be a great help for him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why I don't see Dame, don't see that opportunity to take this young boy and to mentor him. But again, hey, I'm not hating on anybody for what decisions they want to make. They can go ahead, Ken. But
But
man,
Dame,
I want to go ahead again.
but Dame wants to go to Miami. That's the only team he want to go to. But we've crossed that bridge already. But let's
Yeah,
move on.
absolutely, absolutely. Man, I want to talk a little bit about what Paul George had to say. Okay, Paul George stated he was referring to Stephen A. Smith as really he's saying that you cannot analyze the game or know the game or speak about the game in a detailed way unless you played the game. So in other words, if you haven't been in the NBA, uh, you know, shut up. I guess that's in a nutshell. What do you think about that?
Coming from Paul George, man, it's just like you got to look who it's coming from. We know that Paul George has done and said some things that's just, as far as I'm concerned, is ridiculous. I mean, I think that Stephen A. Not that I'm let's just say a huge fan, um, of him, but he's been covering the NBA. I want to say well over 25 years.
Yeah,
I mean, so
yeah,
um, you gotta take that and say, man, this man knows what he's talking about. He has a number one rated show. Um, so I don't, I just can't see why Paul would say something like that. But coming from Paul, I guess to be expected.
I mean,
Um,
Go ahead, Ken.
the other thing, and I think Stephen A. kind of mentioned this, he said, well, remember Howard Cosell? He never played the game, but as far as analyzing and talking about boxing, football, he did a great job. There's a lot of other people that um, have done the same thing. I just don't think that you have to play the game to analyze it. I think as a player, you got the, let's say, the behind the scenes, the interaction with the coaches, the other players, the refs, and things like that. Yeah, you know all about that. You can speak on that. But to analyze it, that's a different thing. I mean, not to say that players can't do that, but I'm just saying, I think Stephen A. does a good job as far as his critique on the NBA, and you can't take I can't take that away from him. I don't think anybody else should try to take that away from him. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I am not a Stephen A. or First Take fan.
Right.
But yeah, I think he's paid his dues. I think he has been in the trenches long enough. He was a beat writer. I think he has the resume to be able to talk about it. Now, do you need the resume? Listen, this is the problem I have with what Paul George said. You want fans to buy tickets, watch the game, buy your shoes, but you don't want any criticism. That ain't, as fans, we are analysts. We critique our own team. We get mad,
Right.
we get happy. You know what I'm saying? It's just part of the whole, I think, sports experience. And so you can't have one without the other.
Exactly.
And you don't mind when he probably don't mind when Stephen A. up there saying how cold he is, how well he's playing the game, and that's good. But when the criticism come in, man, you ain't never played this game on this level, so be quiet. No, brother Paul, that's not the way it works, man. So I think anyone that invests time in the game, love the game, and I think being a player of the game on some level gives you some insight,
credibility.
Yeah, into the game. But
Yeah.
again, I didn't play in the NBA, but I can tell you, I feel like I know that game, and I think I know that game well. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
played it the majority of my life. Like, so I just think it discourages me when I hear athletes push back at criticism. Right? You making a lot of money. You're in the spotlight. And anytime, it don't have to be basketball. Anytime you making a lot of money, you in the spotlight, you have opened yourself up for, number one, praise, but number two, criticism.
Oh,
you
definitely.
know, and you have to be able to handle that, man. And I hope that Paul can stay healthy this year because I love him as a player.
Oh yeah. I,
Um,
I mean, they call him PG-13. I mean, the thing about with Paul, I mean, I'll say definitely the last 3 years, I don't think he's played in half the games. So maybe that came from frustration as far as that's concerned, because I know Stephen A. did speak on that as far as, uh, where is he? Him and Kawhi, that tandem, they could have gave um, Denver or Phoenix, a run for their money. I mean, the
yeah,
thing about it is that you got to be on the floor though,
yeah,
and
yeah,
being on the floor, that's for them, that's few and far between. So, and they
exactly.
making a whole lot of money. So,
Yeah, man. Hey, a healthy Clippers team is a team you have to deal with. Let's
and with
let's be
Ty Lue,
honest, man.
right? Yo, yeah, definitely.
Man, because
I
Kawhi,
think they
whew,
they wanted. I'm gonna say one piece away from being able to come out of the Western Conference.
mm, mm,
So,
mm. It's gonna be
if they
interesting. They
healthy,
say, Ty Lue talked about how he's trying to get them really to buy into playing all the time. Like, and we do know that coaches have less say so. These are the team doctors. These are the medical staff that makes the determination on whether a player is playing or not. Not the coach. It used to be the coach. It's not the coach no more. That
not no
power is
more.
not in their hands, man. And that's kind of crazy to me because Ty Luke talked about how man, he didn't even know who was going to be his lineup.
Right.
So how do you coach a team when you don't know who you're going to have and who you're not going to have? So hopefully this year, but Paul, cut that out, man. We don't,
But
anybody can critique the game, man.
let me say this, Mike, is that um, I think the players have more control as far as playing is concerned. I mean, if you look at Kawhi's situation when he was in San Antonio, he said, the doctors had cleared him. He said, I know my body. I'm not ready to play.
Mm.
He's in which you say to the player like, okay, you right, you know your body, but if every doctor hasn't cleared you as far as the play, it's kind of,
Hey, you got to go back to work. The doctor didn't
right.
cleared you to go back to work. You can't call
So,
in sick and say, they say what is doctor's excuse at in the real world, right?
right.
So hopefully these guys will get it together, man. But turning our attention, Ken, to the news about Brittney Griner,
Man.
that Brittney is taking a break, and you remember early on, I'm
Yeah.
gonna put this out there. I was like, Brittney should not play this year. I
You
just
did say
thought,
that.
man, Ken, I just thought being in a Russian prison, man, I don't even know what you know what I mean? I can't even imagine what that was like in a Russian prison and
Just be,
then
just being in prison, period.
prison period,
Yeah.
man, not knowing you were going to come home because she had no idea when she was going to come home. So I can imagine the trauma that she experienced. And I thought, and I didn't say this at the time, but I did think, man, that's some exploitation, man. I know it's gonna bring in the fans. I know it's gonna bring in, people want to see. But do you know that Brittany, their team has the second worst record in the league. And I just don't. It was just too soon, man. What are your thoughts?
I think, um, being like you said, being in a Russian prison is definitely different. Just being in the prison in the United States. Not to say either one is an ideal situation, but I just think in her situation is that you never know the abuse that she took mentally or physically. I mean, she may not be saying anything, but you just never know. Over in
Yeah,
Russia, anything goes. So, and then the political atmosphere that came about it, when she got sent home, there were folks who like, why is she getting sent home? Why what happened to the other prisoners? and that that play a huge part. You coming home, but you got folks protesting that you got out of the Russian prison. I'm like, I know we want to bring everybody home,
No
but
doubt.
that was a deal that they made.
Yeah.
That's not her fault. And I
Exactly.
just think that that was wrong for anybody to question why she came home. For number one, that's um. So, and then the other thing is that, man, it just takes a burden, because the thing about it is that um, when you come out of any prison, it takes time to adjust,
Mm,
to get home. There's some things that as far as your regular home life, that you done miss.
mm.
And you say to yourself, like, how I'm gonna get that back? You're not gonna get that back.
Yeah.
So it's plays on your mind. Um, we talk about mental illness. I'm pretty sure that's the reason why she stepped away from the game. And you did say that she should take that time this season off, um, to get everything together. And what is I know that's subjective as being together. So as far as the team is
Right.
concerned, um, I think it's an older team.
Mm, mm.
Um, Quite a few veterans on the team, so I just don't think they have that chemistry, um, before she left.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. 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 It's it's a sad situation, man. I hope she gets the help that she needs. I don't know if she's taking the rest of the season off. I don't
right,
know if she's taking a few games off, but man, my advice would be take the rest of the season off. Y'all
right,
not going you're not gonna win the championship. Okay. So
Las
man, if
Vegas,
it exactly work on yourself. I mean, this is not about basketball. This is
right,
about Brittney. Work on yourself, get back mentally healthy, and come back and play the game that you love, man. I just thought they threw her into the fire just too soon, man. And bravo to her, Ken, for trying. You know
right,
what I
to
mean?
come
For
back,
for oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That took a lot of courage, man. Coming out in front of those people, and like you say, the negative press. Who knows what she was receiving, you know, through private emails,
right,
or
exactly.
you see what I'm saying? So I applaud her for giving it a shot. But I thought you should just take the year off, get yourself
But
together.
but the other thing, Mike, we haven't mentioned is that I think it was an incident in the airport
Mm,
where there were some people in the airport who let's just say just being rude and obnoxious toward her, and they had to go a different way to get or stay you know until the plane got there or something. I was just like, really? I
yeah,
mean, what this young lady has been through, and now you want to be negative? I'm like, man, come on.
terrible, terrible, man.
So
But again, we got these folks that they live to bring misery to other people, and that's kind of their
sad.
reason for being on the planet. But man, shout out to Brittany. Get the
Right.
help that you need,
Get the
and
help you
come on
need.
back. Exactly, come on back and play the game that you love. Man, what about the shakeup? Jeff Van Gundy. He's no longer there. First of all, did you like the Mike Green, Jeff Van Gundy,
Mark Jackson.
and Mark Jackson? Did you like that announcing trio?
I'm gonna be real honest with you, Mike. Not really. Not no. And the reason why I say that is that Van Gundy, I'm gonna call him old school, in which nothing wrong with that. It's just some of the things that he said. I was like, man, are you serious today? I think it was like, if you flop, you get two free throws and a ball on the side.
Mm,
The other team, like, come on, man. I know we don't want to see flop in the game, but that's just ridiculous. And then a lot of times he would, say some things, and Mark Jackson would just kind of look at him like, "Did you really say that?" And I mean, I know they close,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm sure Jeff probably has that room to say something that's going to be coming out of left field. So Van Gundy didn't do anything really for me. Mark Jackson, he was okay. He was okay for me. What is it? Hand down? Wait a minute, hand down or something?
Yeah.
That little
It's
saying that he
hand
has.
down, man down.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. And then this is another one that he says, there goes that man. I'm like, I got so tired of hearing that. I'm like, right. I'm like, man, come on. Can't you come up with something else with that? So, Mike was, to me, the kind of the stabilizer in which, I like hearing from him than the other two. So, so they replaced him with, Doc Rivers and Doris Burke. I mean, if they have a double hitter, Doris will probably do that first game. I think she's come along a long way.
Yeah.
She's improved drastically, and you can tell, and she knows the game. And having that, let's just say that spotlight, that's a different story too. But she handles herself well. Doc, he did it before. I think he did it for maybe about 3, 4, 5 years. It could have been longer, but he did it. He did a good job, so I don't really see any controversy about it. But online, it's just like Mark Jackson got let go from. I mean, he's making a lot of money. Him and Jeff. It's just really all it comes down to is dollars and cents.
Yeah.
I would say between the two of them, they were making probably between 8 and 15 million. For ESPN. So, hey, I got somebody to fill in that's probably making half or even less than that. So it's just about money, man.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, it is, right? I mean, what's crazy to me is this, I didn't have a problem with the trio. I mean, Mike Green, of course, ex NBA official. Right. So, his perspective is always unique and crystal clear in how he talks about the game. And, he's more play by play, and they were more,
right.
Opinionated in what they were saying. I'm not mad at the switch up. I'm not the most Doc Rivers fan.
Right.
And I kind of grapple with that, man, because Doc is he's a Marquette boy. So I kind of grapple with the fact, man. But I have to. I'm willing to give Doc a chance and to see how I think it can get better, because I think kind of the off cuff conversations that they do have we're kind of just not interesting to me.
Okay,
we're kind of boring. So hopefully. Because I know Doris is on the game. She's analyzing the game. She's talking about the game. So I really appreciate that, man. But hey, you know what? ESPN shook up a lot of things.
Oh, definitely. Like I said, it was just about money, really. That's what it comes down to. Doris and Doc, they're not even getting, I won't say close, but they're not half of what, Mark and Jeff were getting. So, okay. I think the other thing also, I'll say this, is that the NBA, in which they should do, is trying to get more women involved in the game. As far as, you look at the refs, you look at the trainers, you look at management. Now you look at, the people who do the game. So you have to give the NBA compliments as far as that's concerned. So I think they've done a great job.
Absolutely.
And they will continue probably to go that way. So that's good. I like that.
Ken, I'm going to say this. One of the toughest jobs, I think, on the planet is a female NBA referee.
Yeah.
Ooh, they tough.
Man.
When you coming into a male dominated and you making those calls and you getting all that feedback, man. My hat is off
Right.
to them. You know what I mean? I know it's tough for a man, right? But you got that tradition that comes along. But man, for these women, and they're good. I mean, hey, you know, they're some of the becoming some of the best referees in the NBA. But man, you can't
Tough
wear your
skin.
feelings. Oh man.
Right.
Man, the verbal abuse that you take as a referee, I just think, man, my hat is off to them and the great job that they're doing. And like you say, I think the more the NBA does that, man, the more it opens the game and opportunities, you know, to be part
Right.
of the whole NBA community. When we see girls coming in, you know, we talked about, you know, even trying to, you know, do a show about opportunities, whether it's in the
Right.
back office, the front office, whether it is, you know, as a reporter, as a writer, you know, being able to look at all these aspects and say, how can I be part of this community in which I love this game?
Right.
And I applaud the women, man. I don't know, man. How does that
Right.
decision come, Ken? Like, I want to be a referee in the NBA. Man, that's some ambition.
It is, and the thing about it, Mike, I think like during this during the summer, as far as you know, I saw a lot of women reffing the games, in which that's a good barometer to get them at that point where you know they can make that transition into the let's just say the regular NBA season. So I see it as a plus. Um, matter of fact, the Bucks just hired a young lady who
Mm-hmm.
was in their kind of video department. Now she's a assistant coach.
Love
So
it. Love
yeah,
it. Yeah, love it, man. They speak very highly of her. And I wish I had her name right now, but we
right,
don't. But we will make sure it gets into the, uh, you know, into the description of the show. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's a beautiful thing, man. And I just, um, as many opportunities I think that folks can get that love the game, can get
exactly.
engaged in that community, can only strengthen that community. Um, and in closing, man, I'm gonna you know just kind of bring up Dr. J for a minute. And Dr. J has said some controversial things.
Oh yeah,
and he said number one, he was talking about Kevin Durant, and he was saying that he didn't really respect the championships that Kevin won at Golden State. Um,
Ooh.
Very controversial. Your thoughts, Ken?
What Doc said, I can't disagree.
Mm,
And the reason why I say that is that now the season before he left Oklahoma OKC, they were about to beat Golden State.
yes, sir.
I'm like, how do you go from you was up 3-1
Yes, sir.
and then you go to the team that you should have beat? I'm like, okay. So they went back to back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
went back to back one. And Kevin was kind of I'm gonna call him the quiet assassin. You
Yeah.
know, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Golden State is probably the best team in moving the ball around the court. Kevin really didn't have to do a whole lot. He just,
Man.
got in the corner, got on the key and just stroked him.
Torching you.
Right.
Torching you.
Exactly. And whenever you need to go, let's just say isolate or go 101, that's his thing. So, I mean, you go to a team where Curry, Thompson, they had a squad already. So it's not like, you rebuilding or you trying to be a contender. So yeah, I can't argue with Doc, man.
Because they were like 73-9.
Was that with Kevin?
Yeah, that's when
Yeah.
Kevin came after
Yeah.
that.
Okay. All right.
Because you remember they had lost to LeBron.
Right. Yeah.
But they had the best record ever.
No. So, and Yeah, and then Kevin leaves Golden State, and not for me personally. I think the reason why he left is when him and Draymond got into it, and Draymond called him out of his name. He goes to Brooklyn. You get paired, with Kyrie and some other people who everybody wanted to come to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Everybody and their brother. So, it didn't work out because of, injuries and trades and things like that. And, yeah, I mean, Kevin hasn't, if I would give him more respect if he would have did it with OKC than with Golden State. That's just my take on it.
Now, Ken, I was here
I
in
know.
Oklahoma City
Right.
when he left. And let me tell you something.
Oh, man.
These people went crazy, man. Like, I was like, nah, man, it wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was disappointed. I'm a Kevin Durant fan, just like you. I love KD. Love him. Love his game. Loved him when he was at Texas, man. I'll be straight honest about that. I love Kevin Durant. I was disappointed when he went to Golden State, only because I knew, man, any team you put Kevin Durant on, come on, man, you a playoff team,
right?
I mean,
instantly.
Man, I can put that. Listen, I can put Kevin Durant on the Charlotte Hornets right now, and they gonna make some noise because he's just that dynamic of a player. So when he went to Golden State, I was like, man, come on. And especially after Golden State just punch you in the mouth.
Yeah.
Okay. That
up 3-1.
Yeah. But man, I'm telling you, people here, they went, man, they had their AR-15s out, man, shooting up his jersey. Man, his restaurant, the name was changed on it, man, with the quickness, man. I was like, really? Like, oh, they were burning his jersey. It was crazy.
Man. Another LeBron.
And I felt like it was an overreaction because, to Kevin's credit, he had fulfilled his contract.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't ask to get out, right? It's just people had a lot of, just hurt feelings because of where he went. Does Kevin have the right to do that? Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely. But again, with every decision comes consequences, right?
Right.
And that's kind of what it is. So getting back to Doc, then, this is a difficult, I think, conversation to have, because if you say you don't respect the championships, then it's almost like you're saying you don't respect the player. And I don't think that's what Doc was trying to say.
Oh, no. I mean, Kevin will probably go down top 15, top 20 player ever played a game. I mean, no. So it's just, now these players can go wherever they want to. They can say, hey, I want to be traded, trade me to, here we go, to Miami, or trade me to Chicago, or, wherever they got two other stars. I got to go. So it is what it is.
I think for me, I don't even know if Kevin Durant can win a championship where that criticism won't come. I mean, if they say, let's say, for instance, they win in Phoenix, you can make the same argument that you left Brooklyn and now you in Phoenix, you win a championship. Have you ever built around you, right? Have you ever done what the greats of the game have done, which is, again, and I thought that if I thought they were knocking on the door, even though they lost that series, I thought next year, you know what? Oh, they're gonna hoist that trophy. But when Kevin decided to leave, it just all crumbled, man. So in a lot of ways, I understand what Doc is saying. And I have to lean toward not putting an asterisk by his championships, but saying, man, I would have loved to have seen you done that where you alone were built around, and not that you joined something, right?
But Mike, look at when OKC played Miami in the finals. I mean, they didn't. I mean, I know Miami had, a deep team, but it wasn't like OKC, got swept and
Yeah,
went away. I mean, these games were competitive,
yeah,
and the thing about it, maybe they were missing a piece or two, and then the other thing, have Miami having that experience being in the finals, I would say hurt OKC. I don't think they. I must say, I don't think anybody on that team was ever in the finals, if my memory serves me right. But I mean, so um, I just thought that they had a nice squad, and
man, they had a team.
right.
They,
And
they
I'm like
had Russell, they had KD, they had Ibaka, they had James
Harden,
Harding. They had a squad. Okay. They had some ballers, man.
right,
And
and their prime.
yeah, in their prime. But again, uh OKC is coming this year too, man. They
Oh, phew,
they looking
man,
good,
they gonna
man.
be
So no
they gonna be
doubt,
rough.
man. Oh yeah. No doubt, man. So a lot of things can going on. And then the last thing that Doc talked about was his top 10. And he did not have Stephen Curry
No,
or LeBron
LeBron.
James in it. But he had my boy, Tiny Nate.
I saw
See,
that.
some of y'all gonna go out there and Google Tiny Nate Archibald. I'm telling you, one of the most truest point guards in the league. You talk about running the show. You know who remind me of his game, and I'm sure you probably gonna go, yep, it's Chris Paul.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Tiny Nate was that. He. Oh man, I love Tiny Nate, man. So so what do you feel about, everybody's entitled to their own list, right? So
Right, exactly.
what do you feel about Doc's list?
I mean, solid players. The big thing that stuck out to me, that did he have Magic in his list?
Yep.
Okay, he had Magic and Oscar Robertson in his list.
Mm-hmm.
I This is just me. I always say that I think Oscar is the best point guard that ever played a game, and how I look at it is that Oscar had an all around game,
Mm-hmm.
offense,
Mm-hmm.
defense, pass, you know, run the team. I mean, I'm not taking anything from Magic was a bad boy, you
Yeah,
know.
he was. Yeah, he was.
So,
I
but
don't think a lot of people realize just how great Magic was.
right.
Okay.
Um, so he didn't really have any, let's just say, current players in his top 10. I mean, it was basically players that he played with, in which
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
um, we talk about eras. So I'm pretty sure that Doc went against all them and they respect their game. So I don't have any I don't have a problem with Doc's top 10. Some people said that Doc was on medication when he sent that out. So I don't know, man.
Man, I like the list, man. I can't argue with the list. I mean, he's got Jerry West on there. He's got Elgin Baylor on there.
No,
I mean,
let me
like you
just stop
said,
you for a second.
mm-hmm,
Elgin Baylor, man,
can
that he could get at it, man.
tell somebody. Tell
Shoot,
somebody. Okay? People don't understand, man. Was Elgin cold?
man, Elgin was a kind of a hybrid. Could go to the basket, could shoot it. He was almost like Connie Hawkins and Kevin
Yeah.
Durant put together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
I need to
Yeah.
stop.
Man, that's that. See. When you're not a basketball historian, you don't understand that. But when you go back into the Arnolds of history, you know who Elgin Baylor is.
Man,
And so, like I say, I wasn't the logo. I wasn't.
yeah,
How can I
Jerry
be mad
West.
with that, man? Jerry was cold. So I can't argue with his list. The fact that Stephen wasn't on there or LeBron wasn't on there. I mean, I don't know, man. I can make an argument for the King. I don't know if I can make an argument for Steph, man, because I have to be honest. If you tell me pick my top 10 all time, Steph not gonna be on my list. He's not gonna be on my list, man. There's man, how many great players out there. Now, if you tell me to go by position, then
That's a different story.
he really not gonna get on the list then. If you tell me to go by guards and I put him
Yeah,
at the 2 guard, Nah, man. He and I love Steph's game, man. Changed the game. Greatest shooter
Oh,
of all time. You know, we there's no debate on that. However, I will say when you start talking about of all time, man, the NBA has had some great players. Not
yeah,
good,
great.
great players, man. So I just, man, I just in I'll close with this, Ken. The most craziest thing that I heard in the last couple of weeks is Dennis Rodman saying that Larry Bird, if he was around today, he would be playing in Europe.
What's wrong with Dennis? Too many Pearsons. I don't
I'm
know,
like,
man.
I'm like,
Man, come on.
I'm like, listen, that's not even worth commenting on,
Right.
man.
It's
Like,
not.
really, Larry? Come on, man. Larry would average 30 today. Okay,
Shoot, or
easily.
more.
Exactly. Easily.
Shoot.
He said he wouldn't be in the NBA. He would be playing in Europe.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Oh man, listen, it's been a great show. You know, Ken, in the world of sports unites us. Let us take this unity into our everyday life. This is why they play the game.